Well, hello and welcome to WAM Wednesday for Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. I hope you're having a great start to your August. I hope you wrapped up July well. I know I've talked to a lot of you and we end up doing well. I know I had a super busy week the last week, not because I was behind, but because I was planning some other things. And I appreciate those of you who work with me to rearrange some of our strategy calls and get everything taken care of and get you guys rolling. So appreciate you. And let's keep it rolling. We're in August now, so we're going to have our first WAM. We're going to do a little bit of accountability first, and then we're going to hop into session 4 of our 20 session series, overcoming obstacles. I know I had some comments as well. So, dude, I mean, wow, yeah, this is one of those that you put on like it's a weekend retreat type thing. Why did you decide to give it out? Well, because it is so important. I think to go over these things. The biggest things that we have in life are really our obstacles that we just have to get past those, and they prevent us from doing so many things and achieving so many things and really helping other people to do the same. So we all deserve fulfilled and enriched lives, and so I wanted to offer up this series to you. It's a long one, so if you haven't, we're in session 4 today. So if you haven't got the other ones, go back and grab the WAMs and the Finish Strong Fridays, because that's how we're doing it: one on Wednesday, one on Friday, and it'll get us pretty close to the end of the year, and then we'll just go right into to planning for next year and get things rolling for you. But at least we'll get the overcoming obstacles part out of your way for next year. All right, well, let's hop out of this and let's get into the WAM here. So let me do a couple of things here. First of all, let me take that banner off because I think you guys have got that already. And then we've got our little advertisement up here we'll take off as well. And then I'm going to switch screens on you real quick. And so now we are going to be talking about our weekly accountability meetings. So let me get out of the way and make that a little bit bigger for you. For those of you who this is your first time joining us, every Wednesday we do a weekly accountability meeting. This is a planning page out of the Phoenix Journal that we utilize here at A2B for me. If you don't have a Phoenix Journal, I'll tell you what, if you're really serious about success or just getting your life rolling and keeping it going, my goodness gracious, you really need a Phoenix Journal. It's not just the name is kind of really not what it is. It's just more than a journal. It's just a complete plan or journal, keeping all your goals, your in line. It's a habit tracker, the whole 9 yards. It's just an incredible asset to your career and to your life. And if you don't have one, go up to a2bforme.com/store and get you one. I think they're about $25-$30. They'll last you 12 weeks. So you're basically investing $100 a year to keep yourself on track and really do some wonderful things. But anyway, that's enough on that commercial. Let's get into your percentage of key actions that you executed last week. Again, if you're new to us, every day you should have key actions that are things that you need to get done towards your goals. These aren't a to-do list. These are key actions that we have determined through our strategy sessions that you need to really get done every week to attain your goals. So it's just a percentage. So if you had 20 and you got 8, well, that don't sound like a very good percentage, so you need to work a little bit harder. But there's no passing or failing grade. I mean, if you had 20 and you did 8 and you reached your goal, that tells us one thing, that your goal was way too daggone easy. We got to get a stretch goal in there, something a little bit more tough, because if it only took 8 out of 20 to get you there, then you need something tougher to work on. So you're selling yourself short. So I want to make sure if you're doing all your key actions and you're not even getting close to your goal, then maybe we need to lighten that thing up a little bit, or we'll look at those key actions and figure out what's not working. So anyway, it's really cool. Some of you may call them key productive indicators. But anyway, keep a percentage of those every week, and that way you can, if you don't do strategy session with me, you do it with yourself. each week and figure out what you need to do. But it's very, very valuable information for you. And then let's look at what victories from the past week that you're most proud of. You generally it's key actions. Sometimes it's just things, right? I mean, I had a great week last week, and so I had a lot to be grateful for. A lot of things that I was proud of. So put those things in there and give yourself a pat on the back for the great things that you did. And then while you're doing that, check in there and see, what do I need to most improve upon. Sometimes you get in there and you get yourself so high and mighty, and you're like, well, dadgum, if I'd done a little bit more here, a little bit more there, I could have done this. So none of this is about beating yourself up, but you always want to reflect, plan, and execute. We want to reflect on what we did and make sure that we did it as well as we could do, because success is really what it boils down to is just you just being the best that you could possibly be. We're not going to be able to all be reach perfection, but the strive for perfection is part of success. Just be the best you can be. So what could you improve upon to do that? And then let's never forget the gratitudes. Sometimes we look at look at number one, we go, what victories? Oh, I don't really have any victories. Well, sure you did. You had some victories, but then you get down on yourself and you start this pity party crap, and we don't do that here at A to B for me. So what are you most grateful for every day? You want to start out with gratitudes. And in the Phoenix Journal, there's a place for that every single day. What's your focus for the day, and what are you grateful for? So put your gratitudes down, because it's just very, very important for you to realize all the wonderful things and people and things that you have in your life, places you've been, those types of things. But what are you grateful for? I know today, my gratitude was just home. And home, really starting with the home that my mom and dad provided for me, and allowed me to be safe and be able to grow. And then it grew into my marriage and family, and the home that we currently have. So sometimes just as simple as one word, home. And divide that into whatever you need to get your definition for that. But anyway, you don't need to spend all day on it, but just jot a few of them down. And then we want to look at what you're going to do next week to live your life to its fullest. We kind of can get lopsided. I've been lopsided many times in my life. And you want to try and keep everything as balanced as you can, because there's more to success than just money. Everybody kind of puts that on money, but that's not really what we talk about here at A to B for me. We just talk about the 7 areas of success, and they all work together and combine, and you can't get 100% on all of them. You can't get all of them to 10, but you don't want to leave any of them totally behind. And if you concentrate on these 4 areas: relationships, recreation, personal health, and work, you'll probably be able to live a pretty well balanced life, especially if you incorporate some of these and kind of marry some of these together, especially relationships, recreation, and health. Those types of things, a lot of times you can just put all those in one event, one thing that you do. So, but look at these things and segregate them out for yourself and figure out, hey, how can I, achieve life to its fullest in these 4 areas this week, and then put it in your plan and get it rolling. All right, speaking of plans, let's look at what we'll do for next week. You always want to have some goals in mind. We have room here for 4 every week, but certainly don't recommend 4. That's really going to probably spread you too thin. But at least 1 or 2 that are really, really big things, so that are always smart goals. They're going to be specific, actionable, and measurable. And make sure that you get your key actions in there. That's what those boxes are for. What's your goal, and what key actions do you have to do this week to get to attain that goal? And then if you got some to-dos in there, maybe just scratch through goal 4 or something and make it your to-dos for the week if you want a place to put them. But don't get yourself stretched out. Let's get in some good goals, and if you got great goals and a great action plan, you really shouldn't need 4. You want to get out there and just nab the ones that you need to get you rolling, right? So look at that, get those rolling, and then what are you looking forward to most this week? Maybe it's a reward. A lot of times you get out there and you get to working and you think, man, work, but you got to reward yourself for those great things that you did. So maybe what you're looking forward to is a reward, especially at the end of a strong 12-week period. We advocate 12-week year here at A to B for me. and if you had a strong 12 week, you should have a reward in there for yourself. And maybe that's what you're looking forward to. But maybe you had a great July, right? Ended up that quarter, if that's how you deal with things, and what'd you do well, and go out and celebrate. But or maybe it's just achieving a goal. So just put it in there, whatever it is, and then if I could accomplish just one thing this week, what would it be? And get that in there for yourself. Uh, Actions and habits, we always want to look at those. We have a little action tracker. This is a mini version of what we have in the Phoenix Journal. But every single week you can pop in there and get the actions and the habits that you want to either create or define, refine, or modify, or maybe get rid of. So put them in here. Write them down, put how many times you're going to do it this week, and then as you do it, check off the day that you did it. And then if you aim and your check marks is the same, add up to the same number, then put your check on the right side, and that can be one of the things that you're most proud of next week. So good place for that for you. It's just a little 2-page form. If you don't have it, I'd get you a Phoenix Journal, because that's exactly where we get it from. But if you want a copy of this, just reach out to me here at A2B from me, and we'll get you one in PDF. All right. Well, that is it for that accountability session. Now let's hop over into overcoming obstacles. We're going to go through session 4 today. So let me hop down here and get my controls. And session 4 is on fear, and primarily removing fear, because if you remove fear from your life, you're going to eliminate many of your challenges. And I know we talk a lot of people, they cute little acronyms for fear and stuff, and we might even use some in here. but the bottom line is, if you can erase fear, or just erase part of the fear, I tell you what, it's just going to eliminate so many of your challenges. Now, recap from last week, for session 3, we did go through some of the most common obstacles that you're going to face, and a lot of tools to overcome and prevent them. So if you haven't been through sessions 1, 2, and 3, hop back into the weekly accountability meetings and the Finish Strong Fridays, because that's where we do it. And get yourself caught up. But this lesson, we're going to demonstrate the influence of fear in your life, and how it can really be a debilitating situation. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, most of the obstacles in your life are really caused by fear. In fact, it's unlikely you have any issues in your life that weren't created by fear. So just think about it. Go back and look at the things. Maybe you hop out that journal and start writing some of the things that you had issues with in your life, and you'll prove to yourself that they were likely just created by some type of fear. And you might not think that your financial or relationship challenges are rooted in fear, but if you're honest with yourself, you'll probably realize that many of your obstacles are caused by your fears and your inability to deal with them in an appropriate way. And the key here is being honest with yourself. Right? I mean, you got to fess up. I mean, some of you, think you're 7 foot tall and bulletproof, and you put that persona out there. But I tell you what, be honest with yourself. You may not want to, get into your small groups and stuff and fess up, but you should, and get you some help from folks, because I guarantee you, there are other people in your group that have had the same issues, and they've worked through them, or they're having the same issues now, right? And you can work through them together, or they can tell you give you suggestions what they did. But there's nothing to be ashamed of here. I tell you, it's just so common. So just leave that 7 foot tall and bulletproof at the door. Take your cape off and come on in, and just realize that many of your obstacles are caused by your fears and just your inability to deal with them. So let's look at some examples that you might come up with as you're writing these things out. First one is relationship issues. I mean, fear of abandonment is a real common fear. And we're not psychologists here. My daughter is, and if you want to reach out to her, she can certainly help you with these. But fear of abandonment is a really common fear, and we're going to talk about some psychology stuff here in the second session, second part of this. But it's also common to fear the loss of autonomy or freedom that a relationship can bring. You got two sides to that. One is abandonment; someone's going to leave you, and you don't want to create that, because then you're that relationship. You're just saying, well, I'm opening them up to hurt me. And then the second thing is, on the flip side, you don't want to, you're afraid you're going to lose your autonomy or lose your freedom through that relationship. Those things that you have to deal with. But trust issues, they can also be fear-based. You've been through some bad situations, some awkward situations, and I always tell people a lot of times we start talking about this. I'll just tell them, have you ever had a bad steak? If you're not a vegetarian, have you ever just went to a restaurant and just had a really bad steak? What did it make you quit eating steak forever, right? No, you just had a bad one. That's all it was. I mean, what did it make me? Salad, right? You had a bad salad. Didn't know you stop eating salad forever? Well, no, you just had a bad one. So just put that aside and let's move forward. Maybe you want to do something internal. We're going to talk about some of the things here, the resolutions here in the second part of this. But think about it, But trust issues, they're mostly fear based, or you might be afraid that you won't be accepted fully. And that's just pure self-image there. But relationship issues, put down as you go through this. Let's start looking at these and what are some of the relationship issues, and not just intimate type relationships, but your social, just your social relationships, your networking skills, those types of things. Let's look at those fears so we can help you work out those. All right, number two, money issues. Well, nobody has those, right? None of us have ever broken our piggy bank, and that's most of us right there. We're trying to fix that daggone thing with a Band-Aid, right? But many people deal with fear and anxiety by shopping, and that can create more debt. So you get out there and just like you're trying to lose weight or something. You do this binge eating because you're all frustrated and stressed and everything. Well, that's going against what you're trying to do. But and the same thing happens with money. When you deal with fear by going out and buying something, well, that's just going to create more debt. So, and some simply fear the discomfort and are unable to get to let go of that expensive car or that morning coffee. You're living in the now instead of planning for the future. So don't anything that you do right now that you're sacrificing, as long as you're not just blowing it all somewhere else, right? You just put it forward, and the compounding of money is incredible. And the things that can happen for you, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, and getting out there, man, the power that you have of time is just incredible. When you get to my age, you don't have as much time anymore, so you really got to be smart with your stuff. But at your age, my goodness gracious, putting a few $100s back a month in the right places over 20, 30 years, my goodness gracious, you'll have a huge nest egg for you out there in the future. But don't worry about that fear or discomfort. Just let go of that stuff, especially if you just compound. And everybody gets on me about Starbucks, but I mean, hey, if you like Starbucks, that's fine. But dadgummit, every morning spending $5-6 on a cup of coffee, seriously, I mean, add that up, and decide if that, couldn't you put that money to better use for yourself? But money issues are a huge fear. All right, number three, procrastination. I just love this sign. I'm taking care of my procrastination issues. Just you wait and see, right? Everybody's on this wait and see train, right? Procrastination can be caused by fear of failure. That's one of the biggest fears that we have is fear of failure, and we talk about that in Failing Forward and some of the other deep dives that we have, or the perceived discomfort of performing an unpleasant task. Right, your fear of picking up that phone and dialing that number that you need to dial. afraid that person's finally going to figure out a way to come through those phone lines and grab you by the neck, right, and pull you through over where they're at. That ain't going to happen. But you have this perceived discomfort of performing that or whatever it is, going to a networking event. The only way to get stronger is to get out there and make it happen. And again, I'm really, really guilty here of going through the resolution before we get to that part. I think I need to stop that. But procrastination is just a huge thing for me. Or you might fear that you're missing out on something exciting and check your email instead of working, right? So you're worried about social media. Oh, what happened? Oh man, well, is there something going on in the world that I'm not on top of? Well, it gets bad enough, someone will let you know, right? And so you got time for that stuff. But when you got a goal and you got action steps and you got KPIs and these things that you need to get taken care of, get on them. Get on your task. You'll have time to go out and take care of the stuff that you might be missing out on while you're working. But you're gonna miss out on everything if you don't get your goals and get your career and your life in order, because you're gonna be out there. All you're gonna have is time, right, to check on things. So be sure you don't let procrastination mess you up. That's why we have the Phoenix Planner, and that's why we stay on top of that for you, because time is everything. All right, stuck in a job you dislike. We used to joke all the time about statistics and about the fact that 50% of the people don't like the job they're in. Well, you'd think that you could take the 50% that didn't like the job they're in and match them up with the other 50%, and then maybe they'd like each other's job and fix that problem. But statistics don't work out like that, right? But you might be afraid that no other decent jobs exist for you, so you stay in that job. Again, that might be just a self-image thing, or you might be fearful of giving up your benefits or getting a new job that pays less. Well, we have to take a look at that, and that's one of the things we do in our strategy sessions is, if it pays less but you're happy and your stress level is down and you're living a better life, maybe we just need to work on the budget. I mean, if we work on your budget, then the less pay ain't gonna matter. You're gonna be happier, and we're gonna be able to get things where you want. But you might be afraid of simply applying for and competing for a better job. So you say, well, I'm here. I got some seniority, and I might go over there, and then I got to prove myself again, and all. Well, come on now. We want to get better. But this is a huge one, being stuck in a job you dislike. So we're going to talk about that, some resolutions for that as well. And these are just a few examples. But look at these things. Because what we're dealing with again is stress. We're dealing with anger. We're dealing with frustrations, and it's just sadness and failure and just silence and all these things. These are just a few examples of things that fear can mess you up on. So consider the other parts of your life that are challenging. And again, let's get out that piece of paper. Let's get out your planner, whatever it is, and let's start jotting these things down so we can work on this. And then ask yourself, can you see how fear is having a negative impact on your life? So I just gave you a few examples, but look at some of your examples. Look at your goals. What's been holding you back? And I guarantee you we're going to see fear of something in there. All right. Well, next round we're going to talk about climbing out of fear. How to handle your fears that are holding you back. So on Friday, get back with us. We've gone about 20-some minutes today, and I don't want to hold you guys longer than that on really any given program anymore. We used to do some long ones, and I don't want to do those anymore because we lose folks. But get in here and work on this. You got today and tomorrow to kind of look through this, and then Friday we'll go through some resolutions, and then Friday, Finish Strong Friday, we'll actually have some to-dos for you to take into the weekend with you, so you can work on those things, because it's really, really important. If you want to have an A to B for me strategy session, a one-on-one with me, feel free. Go up to a to b for me.info/15 with Don. You'll see the calendar there. you can hop in there and just pick a time that works for you, and let's grab you 15 minutes. It's not going to cost you anything. I'll do a complimentary 15-minute evaluation for you. You're going to have 4 questions pop up that you're going to need to work on. So give yourself plenty of time to work on those, because we want to make our 15 minutes work for us. We don't just sit around and talk about the sports scores of the Olympics or anything. We're going to talk about you. So be ready to talk about your favorite subject, which is you, and how we can help you. Well, all right. Well, that's it for today. Have a great rest of the Wednesday. I hope things are going well for you again. Be back to us tomorrow for Thrive Thursday at noon. We finished the week strong here at A to B for me. We got WAM on Wednesday. We got Thrive Thursday on Thursday. And then we've got Finish Strong Friday at noon on Friday. So come back, stay in touch with us, and let's keep you moving in the direction of